بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome to grade 9 from At-Tamayiz Model School. Dear students, today we are going to study page 30 and 31 in student book. Okay, today we have two grammatical rules, okay, in page 30 and 31. Please focus with me. Now, look at here in page 30. We have the first exercise, grammar and context here. As you see, relative clauses, who, which, whose. Who, which, whose. Okay? Number one, who is used for people. So we used who for people, while which is used for things or animals, and whose is used for possession. Okay, so again in this page, who, which, whose. Who is used for people, but which is used for things or animals, and whose is used for possessions. Okay, let's read the examples to learn more about this grammatical rule. Okay, number one, this car is old. This car works well. Okay, the answer, this car, comma, which is old, works well. Okay, here's correct. Okay, answer, this car, comma, this is comma. Then which refer, which indicate to thing or animal, right, is old, works well. Next example, the man arrived late. He had an accident. Okay, so how we can use with this example, or how we can join it with a relative clause. The answer here, the man, then comma, who, because who used for people, right, arrived late, then comma, had an accident. Okay, example number 3, the man left quickly. The man's car is red. Okay, this is for possession. This is for possession. Here we can use with it whose. The answer here, the man, then comma, whose car is red, left quickly. Okay, now let's check our understanding for this rule with this exercise in student book. Join the following sentences using who or which. So we are going to use who or which in these examples. Number one, let's read them one by one here. Okay, number one, the man was a volunteer. He put out the fire with the rest of firemen. Okay, so the correct answer here, the man, comma, this is the comma, okay, the man, comma, who was a volunteer, then comma, after that complete the sentence, put out the fire with the rest of firemen, okay. Number two, the charity is purely medical. It operates in developing countries. Okay, so here the answer should be the charity, comma, which is purely medical, comma, operates in developing countries. Okay, number 3, the campaign's name is Hope. The campaign gives out food supplies. Okay, so here we can join it by whose for possessions. Okay, The campaign, whose name is Hope, gives out food supplies. Okay? Now, after we cover the grammatical rule, let's go on another skill, speaking 1, exercise number 2, in the same page, page 30. In groups, choose the 3 most important points needed to give a speech. So here, look at me here, okay? As you see, this is a speaking activity. Before we go to speaking activity, let's come back to these words here. Good memory, loud voice, charisma, okay? Expressive face, confidence, acting, belief, smiling, body language, eye contact. Okay? Now here, while speaking activity, this is a speaking activity. Let's read it together. On the occasion of His Highness the Emir's honoring as humanitarian leader, you have been asked to give a speech about humanitarian work in Kuwait. Okay? Discuss these ideas with your group before you start making your speech. Okay? Let's discuss these ideas with each other. Now, the first one, how does the award inspire you to do more for your community? Okay? How does the award inspire you to do more for your community? So try to think, to find answer, okay, respond for this question. Next one, what type of humanitarian work is there in Kuwait? What type of it? Okay. Next one, which charities do you know? Look at the charities here. Okay. International Islamic Charity Organization, right? And etc. An-Najah Khairiyya. How can you support charities? How can you support charities here? Okay, by money, right? Is there any voluntary work in your school? So think about these questions and try to find answers for them. Tips for making a speech. So you should follow these tips. Talk about what you know. First one, you should talk. You should speak. Organize. You should be organized. Every speech should have an introduction, body, and a conclusion. Tell stories. How can you tell stories? Avoid words like will and Vary your tone, volume, and speed. Smile at the audience. Okay? Now, next page, page 31. And this is the important thing here. The second grammatical rule, if conditional type 2. If conditional type 2. Okay? If it's used to talk about hypothetical situations that are unlikely to happen but possible. Okay? So if here conditional type 2, it's a rule used to talk about hypothetical situations that are unlikely to happen but possible. Okay? So here the rule, we should use if, then past tense, the second form of the verb. In the second sentence here, comma, okay, we should separate it with a comma. Then in the second sentence we should use with, then verb in the infinitive form. Okay, infinitive form, the base form of the verb, right? So let's read these examples to learn more about this rule. Number 1, if I were you, I wouldn't eat so much junk food. So look at here, after if I used were. Always use were. Okay? If I were you, I wouldn't eat so much junk food. So here is if, then past tense. Here the second form of the sentence with, in the negative form, wouldn't, with positive. Negative here, wouldn't. Then the infinitive form of the verb eat. Okay? Number 2, if the team trained more, they would win the match. Okay? 2 sentences joined by if. Conditional 2, because here the verb in past tense. Here is with, after with the infinitive verb. Okay? The third example in a negative form. Look at here. If they didn't finish on time, they didn't finish on time. Look at here, negative form. Okay? The second section of the sentence, wouldn't or would not pay them. If they didn't finish on time, I wouldn't pay them. Okay? That's in the positive and the negative form of the second rule, if conditional type 2. Let's check our understanding on this exercise in page 31. Complete the sentences using the correct form of the verbs. Okay? Number 1, if I, here they gave me be, the base form be of the verb. So I should use here past tense, second form of the verb. Okay? So what's the second form or the past verb from be? And we say pay attention to this rule. After I, here we, and if we have the rule if, we should use here were, right? The first one, if I were Manal, if I were you, if I were Khalid, if I were Ali, right? If I were Manal, I happy to get an award. Here, feel the verb here, feel. So I should write here would, then the infinitive form of the verb feel, right? So here, would feel. So my sentence now, if I were Manal, I would feel happy to get an award. Okay? Number 2, if I be here, if I be her, so here be the same thing. I with if and I, we should use were. Okay? So if I were her, I my money to charity. So the verb here, donate. Okay? So here we should write in the second section here with and the base form donate. With donate my money to charity. If I were her, I would donate my money to charity. Number 3, if we away food for the poor, no one hungry. I have here 2 verbs in brackets. So the first one give, here should be here, and the second one in this space. Okay? So the first one give. After if, we should write it in past tense. If we, what's the past form from give? So the past form here, if we gave. away food for the poor, no one, so here stay, no one would, right? Would, and the base form of the verb stay, would stay. If we gave away food for the poor, no one would stay hungry. Number 4, think about it. If they, people with disabilities, they great things. 2 verbs also, support, do. So support here, we should write it in the first space with if. So here we should write the second form, past tense. If they supported people with disabilities, they would, right? And the infinitive form, do. They would do great things. Number 5, the last one. If they, a lot of people, okay? Volunteer, help. 2 verbs. 2 verbs here. The first one, volunteer, we should write it in the past tense. If they volunteered, they would, and the base form of the verb help, would help a lot of people. Okay? If they volunteered, they would help a lot of people. Okay? That's for our grammatical rule if conditional 2. Thanks for listening and watching. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.